Hey everyone, my name is Andrew and this is Pete. And this month we're going to be looking at missionaries with families. And today we're going to be chatting with Pete a bit about that as he's on our member care and development team with a specific focus on families. So welcome, Pete.
Thank you.
We've got a few questions for you.
Lovely.
First one being, tell us a bit about your background and your experience with kids and families.
Okay, I guess my background has a few different levels to it. I've always had a heart for kids and working with young people. So this has taken me into a variety of roles. I've worked as a youth worker in a church, as well as a chaplain in a primary school. And for the last 13, 14 years, I've been working as a primary and secondary teacher in both an Australian school and also with a bit of international schooling experience as well. So I just hope to bring the experiences that I've got through that into this role now here at Pioneers.
Great. Wonderful. Well, why do we have at Pioneers a role focused on families?
It's a really good question. And just recently I heard a good three pointers as to why we need to have a focus on families. The first is that kids are people. Kids have emotions, kids have feelings, and kids need to be able to be given a space to be able to work through their different thoughts and feelings about what they're going through. The second is that kids affect mission. Often if the kids don't settle on the field, then it's really hard for families to settle on the field as well. So part of my role is trying to help families and kids find that place where they can thrive on the field and work through any issues that they may have, especially during transition phases. And the last reason is that kids are the future. Not only the future of, within here in Australia, but they're also the future of mission. So we want to be making the experiences that our kids have on the mission field as positive as possible, so that perhaps if God's calling them to the mission field later on in life, that they have a really good past positive experience that makes them excited about that opportunity and even having their own family on the field. So, yeah.
Great. One of the things that can happen with missions on the field is the term called TCK, which stands for Third Culture Kid. You know a little bit about this. Do you want to tell us a bit about what it is, firstly, and what the benefits and the challenges of being a TCK can be?
Yeah, so the TCK stands for Third Culture Kid, as you said, and generally that means that they're growing up in a culture which is different to their parents or their passport culture. It's different to the culture of the country that they're located in, and it's a bit of a melding of those two cultures, but then also the culture of all the other international expats that they rub shoulders with. So it's an amalgamation of all these different cultures, and often a third culture kid is someone who's grown up in their developmental years in that sort of environment. So as an adult, if you move overseas, you're generally not a third culture kid because you've got your grounding in your passport culture. So that's where the term TCK comes from. There are a lot of challenges and there are a lot of benefits. I guess one of the major benefits of being a TCK is really having a great understanding of the world and a really good global perspective that goes along with all the experiences that they do experience. So the term a 21st century citizen is often used, and a lot of companies are now looking for those kids who have had an international upbringing because they're able to see things through different lenses and not just the one way. So that's one really big benefit. One of the major challenges that our TCKs encounter is loss and dealing with the grief that comes from loss. And often these losses may be unseen. So maybe it's a loss of not having their passport country accent or not being able to have friends that are going to be with them from childhood all the way through. So it's helping kids deal with those losses so that they can grieve those losses, but grieve them in a healthy way. So that's probably one of the major challenges they face.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for the insight today, Pete.
No worries.
And I hope you guys have found that helpful and insightful. This month, we're going to be continuing to look at missionary families. So stay tuned and check out our social media for more information, and we'll see you there. Thanks.